This is Helen O'Shea, and you're listening to Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio.
Producer Claire.
Yes, Danny.
Boy, a lot happens in a week. You know that?
Does it?
We've had a pretty big week here.
Big shoe.
We have. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman. Producer Claire is with me here.
Yes.
It's been a very. There's an old Creedence Clearwater song called "Traveling Band," and there's Bob Seger song called "Traveling Man."
Right.
That will be me this year.
You traveling?
Between now and the middle of June, I've got like 6 trips I'm going to be going.
Wow, look at you.
Look at me.
Aren't you a lucky man?
Look at me looking at you, looking at me. That's right. Well, and we'll talk about them as they happen upon us. But and I want to talk about Bruce just walked out, but myself and him and Charlie and Robin all went to the Sandy Hall, one of our sponsors, Sandy Hall Music.
Yay. Nice. Was it nice?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
She did a great job. Let me tell you something.
Pensauken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Soundplex. It's weird because you think you had trouble. I'm driving down Route 38 in Marlton or whatever it is to go to this show over the weekend, last weekend. And this Soundplex is located on a street named Ruderow, Ruddero.
Does Rastro live there too?
Right?
Ruderow.
Ruderow. Right? Called Ruderow. So I'm driving down 38, and I slow down because I have a red light, and I'm at the corner of 38 and Ruderow. Look at my GPS. It's not telling me to turn. Okay. It says I still have like 4.5 miles to go, and I'm like, did I enter the address wrong? What did I do here? Okay. Trust the GPS. So sure enough, I continue down Route 38, I believe it was, and we get up to a point that says, make a right turn onto Bethel Avenue. Bethel Avenue? So I turn on to Bethel Avenue, and I'm in a neighborhood.
Happened here.
That's right.
This neighborhood is a little different. It had concrete and row homes and not coyotes
And deer.
lions, coyotes.
And bears.
Lions, coyotes, and bears. Oh, my. And it's one of these streets where at the end of the street, the road curves. Well, apparently, somehow, that's part of Ruderow Avenue. It says, you have arrived at your destination. I'm like, where? Sure enough, it was. It was like an old warehouse that was stuck in the middle of a residential
Wow.
neighborhood, and that's where the Soundplex was.
Surprise.
But let me tell you about Sandy Hall. She had a great crowd.
Good.
It's a neat place. They used to actually, this is where RCA Victor used to actually press the vinyl in this building.
Get out of here, really.
Back in the early days of recording. That was the vinyl processing plant.
Wow.
And they've got, like that Victrola that's in
Yeah. Right.
the bed of my truck. They've got that exact model, but on a pedestal. So it's like a pedestal model.
Nice.
It's about waist high. And they had some of the old record processing, vinyl pressing equipment in there. It's really cool. Kind of like the Vault down
Right.
on White Horse Pike in Camden. Anyway, Sandy Hall, her original stuff, she did the whole
New
Full Circle
full
album.
circle. Right.
But they did a set of Heart Music because it was her whole band, Kick
Right.
It Out. That was
Right.
her backing band for this. Her Heart tribute band. Let me tell you, she's got that stuff down.
Yeah.
You close your eyes, you thought you were listening
Wow.
to Ann Wilson. I mean, wow. That whole band was really tight. So,
Good.
and I'll tell you a little more off the air about certain things, but it was a neat experience. Plus, I got to hang out with Charlie,
Bruce, yeah, that's nice.
and the funny part was, Charlie, of course, we know here at Deco, which is where we are at the 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment.
Woohoo.
Charlie, as we've mentioned many times, is a keyboard player for Angel. So, at the end of the evening, Sandy's drummer comes over, and because Sandy, she goes, oh wait, I gotta wait. She goes over and gets her drummer, whose name is Scott. I can't remember his last name. Anyway, Scott, come here.
Oh, I think I saw the picture. Did
She's
they
like,
post
yeah.
a picture?
And yeah, Charlie put a
Yeah, I
picture
saw
in.
that.
Says, show Charlie your tattoo. So the drummer pulls his sleeve down, and there's an angel, the rock band Angel's symbol tattooed on his arm. And Charlie, Charlie doesn't say like, oh, I'm the keyboard player for Angel. Charlie says, oh, I got to take a picture and send it to Punky Meadows.
Who's in the band?
So,
He's the lead.
And the guy's like, why is this guy? And he's like looking at him, and then it dawned on him who Charlie was. And he's like, wait a minute, you're in Angel. So it was kind of cool. Bruce and I are just shaking our head. But
That's
it was a good night all the way around.
Good.
And as I mentioned, we are here at the 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment, where I also heard from Jenny Barnes. Jenny's going to be doing some work with Deco, so
Excellent.
that's fantastic. We love Jenny Barnes. You know Jenny Barnes, right?
Probably she was at your show, right?
The 10th anniversary, she
At
was.
the 10th anniversary at the Asbury Hotel, she was.
Oh, all right.
But
It's been a while.
we'll get to
It's been a while, When was the last time I was on your show?
Well, we're going to find out about that.
Yeah.
So, but Rock On Radio is sponsored not only by the 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment, but by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of East Hampton, Mount Holly, located on Route 537, otherwise known as Monmouth Road.
Woohoo.
They are the official caterers of Rock On Radio. The Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Claire and I, in a future date, will have a very big announcement about
Yeah, that's
the
exciting.
Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. And it's an announcement that they may regret at some point.
No,
But-
I doubt it. They may regret for you, but not for me.
yeah, well, they like you. That's the only
They
reason
do.
why this is happening. And we know that.
It's true.
But
They
go
like
to,
both of us, they
right?
said.
Okay, all right. I'll go with that.
We're Christine's two favoriteest people.
She used to be afraid to talk to me, like come on this show, and because she wasn't.
She's
sure.
shy, though.
And then we did the chip off the old rock, and now she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready."
That's right. Sign me up.
The JSJBF.org. Go to Jersey Shore Jazz Blues Foundation.org and see all the good things they do for our community and
New Jersey.
Beyond. Asbury Park Vibes. Now, this past Friday, Claire and I went to see Misty Blues, and we had ticket winners for the
Oh, good.
show, and it was, of course, it was really fantastic, really cool to meet Gina and hang out, and
My first time at the Lizzie Rose.
her first time at the Lizzie Rose. Yep. And as of last week, like a full week before the show, she only had like 20 tickets left to sell.
Wow, that's great.
So we had lucky listeners who reached out to Diane at AsburyParkVibes.com and at the email and won the tickets.
Yay.
So partnering with her was a good idea.
Always.
We
Always
love
good.
Diane and Doug at AsburyParkVibes.com. Phoenix Art Supply and Framing. located on Route 611, otherwise known as Southeastern Road, in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. They're a fine art supply and framing shop run by Jenny Schaefer for more than 40 years.
Very fine.
They have been supplying Doylestown
And beyond.
and the area with great framing and art supplies.
Mm-hmm. It's a cute little place. I've been there. Of course, because I'm addicted to art supplies.
I see. New Jersey Stage. You go to newjerseystage.com and you will be logged on to the finest arts and entertainment magazine in the world, on the planet. Now, Gary covers, there are other magazines that only cover New Jersey arts, but newjerseystage.com covers not only all of New Jersey arts and music and theater and so on and so forth, anything creative, but they also go a little beyond. A little bit into Philly, a little bit into Manhattan, New York City area, a little bit into Delaware. Plus, they let me put whatever I want on their site.
That's
with
always
my
nice.
column every week, so we like that. No, we love Gary. It's also the home, just like Deco Entertainment. If you go to decoentertainment.com, you can listen to this show every Sunday at 7 o'clock. If you go to newjerseystage.com, click on radio shows, that'll take you to the Penguin Rocks, where you can also hear this show. And then those shows are on that site for 1 week until the next Rock on Radio comes into play. Dee Dee's Lights. Now, I know you know Dee Dee. Dee Dee's Lights. She's the official chandler of Rock on Radio.
From Strawberry Pie.
Dee Dee makes candles.
The candles.
Yes, Dee Dee makes candles, and we distribute them.
Yes, we do.
Correct.
We burn them.
I've been giving away. I gave a couple candles away. A couple charitable organizations have reached out to me for
Isn't
a
she
gift
in
basket.
Puerto Rico?
Dee Dee's in Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I'm jealous. She's going to have all that good food.
I think when this is done, I think we should go get her.
We want some Puerto Rican food brought back.
Well, that week, yeah, I'll text her. Hey, bring some Puerto Rican food back.
Speaking of food, dessert.
That's right. Lilla Pies of Princeton, located at 301 North Harrison Street inside the Princeton Shopping Center. We love Jen and her hand grenades of happiness and cannot imagine a Rock on Radio without them.
I know.
Correct. Who am I missing, Claire?
Sinister.
Oh, Sinister Footwear. That's right. SinisterFW.com. Tina has all sorts of crazy socks, and if you go there, use the promo code DCR Socks, and you'll get 10% off. SinisterFootwear.com. And I believe that's it.
Wow, you
We
guys
are done.
expanded.
We have.
We even cut back.
Yeah,
really?
we even cut
I
back.
remember you
2025.
only had like 1, 2, 3 sponsors in the beginning.
Yeah, we got a
At
lot.
the church, I remember.
That's right. Now, this gentleman has been with us
A long time.
from the inception. I think
First show, I think.
I
Yeah.
think you were on you came to the studio way down in Burlington County,
Yeah.
which was also back in the woods.
Yeah. Woods.
And I know
That's
you
a
were
theme
at,
here.
you were at Murray Grove in Lenoka Harbor,
yeah.
and I know you were in Hightstown.
How'd it sound?
Over, yeah, it's about right. Once every few years, you
You
pop
actually
in.
were.
I'm
You
popping.
came to
see
Yardville,
us.
didn't you? Were you in Yardville?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
No, maybe
Nope.
not. I thought you were.
But
But I've been everywhere you've been, to open mics.
pretty much, that's right.
right.
We are. And before we get to introduce him, how can they find us, Claire?
They go to DCROR.com, which is the short link for Danny Coleman's RockOnRadio.com.
Correct. Facebook is Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio 2, the number 2, and Instagram is at Rock On Radio. All one word, all capital letters. Now, if you go to the Penguin Rocks, or you go to mixcloud.com/thepenguin, you will see multiples of my programs up there.
Oh,
You'll see Rock On Radio, you'll see the Rock on Radio, brand new Rock on Radio Indie Hour. And soon I will go back to doing Danny Coleman's Got the Blues
Ooh, very good.
because the demand is so great. I cannot silence my fan base any longer.
I can't keep him at bay.
Correct.
Nice.
I wish. So, anyway, but yeah, you can find all the shows I do there.
Nice.
And now this next gentleman, he is back in the studio yet again. His previous albums are titled things like Forgiven and Before and After. He has played with anybody and everybody in the Jersey Shore area. His jam band is legendary. He has also performed with and been a member of Richie Havens' band.
Fresh Flavor.
That's right. He is Papa John Bug.
Wow. And I thought I was going to get lost.
Nope, we wouldn't let that happen.
That's why last night.
Yeah.
That's why I had you call me because you're like, oh, I'll just call you on my way.
You know what saved
better
me?
not do that.
Route 179. Because the other direction didn't have Route 179.
That's why I took that screenshot for you.
Yeah. And as soon as I saw that, I said, I think I'm going this way. I didn't go west. I went east.
That's right. Go east, young man.
River West, I go east.
Best thing was the call. I'm lost and I can't find my way out.
And that's okay.
That's all right. We got you here.
We got you here, and that's what's important. When we go home, I'll let you follow me.
Oh,
We'll get you back
I'm going to be on your tail.
We'll get you.
I don't care if there's a deer in between us.
You know who I talked with a little bit at, and I always, every time I can't think of him or talk to him without thinking of you. I talked to him just between Christmas and New Year's, Joe D'Angelo.
Oh, really?
Now, Joe, of course, moved to Texas.
Oh, he moved.
But
Yeah,
I remember
Drummer
one.
extraordinaire. Yeah, he started playing with Matt O'Ree on the cruise. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Matt.
I saw him a couple of weeks ago with Sandy Mack. He was playing at the Asbury too.
Oh, he was in town?
Yeah.
Oh. Joe didn't even tell me he was in town? Now
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
Now I feel slighted.
Aw, I'm sure you're fine.
Wait till I give him a bunch of grief. So,
Maybe he'll be back.
yeah, well, maybe I won't be available.
Oh.
Okay.
So, I can't help but think because, well, back in the day when Joe used to drink, him and I, more than once, especially that Friday night open mic before the light of day, when the light of day thing was only like Friday, Saturday, and a little bit Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
We used to go to that open mic the Friday night before, and we would sit in that back corner of the Wonder Bar there.
The Wonder Bar, yeah.
And,
Get plastered.
well, yeah, that's a mild way of putting it. There's a lot of Jack Daniels drank that evening, but whenever we would do that. But I remember that one time, Joe and I did percussion and Joe played drums. And for you, we backed you up. I think it was at the Wonder Bar for a 3-song set for something.
Yes, for something.
And I just remember thinking, man, this sounds really good. And I was beyond thrilled to be part of the jam band, even if it was only for a half hour. You know? So you've been giving musicians such as myself that kind of thrill for a long time.
We also did with me. We did the 40. What was that? Back, I forgot the name of it. The other station you did with and I can't remember
Art?
the name.
City of Angels? No.
It was way down, and you were playing percussion with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? with the other
gosh.
producer. What's his name? The big guy.
Dave, that
Yeah.
40-foot hole.
Yeah, 40 foot. Yeah.
Yep.
Back in the, yeah, we did that whole show there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I totally forgot
40
about
foot
that.
hole. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
we used to be able to do that on that station. We could do that here. I mean, with the size of this room.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Little Bird tells me that Carol Barberi and Bobby D might be coming back April 26th
Ooh.
at Max's.
Nice.
Max's. Where's Max's?
Max's Long Branch, the hot dog place.
Oh,
They have a liquor license and everything.
oh, no
Wow.
kidding.
We did
Wow.
it. We did a couple of weeks ago, actually last month. We did a big reunion. Carol got
that's
sick,
nice.
but
Right.
Bobby showed up.
Because of the reunion, or
Yeah, it was a reunion. It was no.
this makes me ill.
It could have been. So many people showed up. It's the most people they ever had in that place.
Wow.
It
At
was
Max's?
packed. At Max's, it was packed. You know, Dougie Fresh was part of the promotion thing. You know,
Okay.
Nice.
Dougie, you know, he had little cards. We were giving them out, and everybody showed up. Everybody showed up.
I didn't even know about it.
Oh, too bad. I
I'm
should.
starting to feel like a
Yeah, but
like a
then
redheaded stepchild here.
why don't on the 26th, if you're available, do a live broadcast there
Ooh.
like you used to? I had.
I'm
at
not sure we could
Molly's.
do live though. We don't have the capability much.
We don't have the capability to go live like
Well, you can
we did
pre-record
with
it.
Dave, but we can.
Yeah, we've done that.
I do
before.
that the headliner every now and then
Yeah.
for Paul Marzano. But how about that?
Yeah, and
All right.
giving you a heads up because they already have it set up for the 26th of April.
That is the 16th anniversary of Rock on Radio.
Really?
April 26th, 2025. That's a good day, I think.
I'll keep you in touch, you
That's
know,
true.
and make sure if it's happening, because they already booked us.
Nice.
And that's when they're planning to have that whole big thing, and they want to keep it going every.
Oh, that's cool.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm glad you announced it here
Yeah.
because they hadn't told me.
Well,
Nice.
They were hiding it from me.
They
But
were
you
hiding
spilled
it
the
from
beans.
Well,
and
it
I
was.
like that.
It's your sweet 16, so maybe it was a surprise.
and you can always call Carol and Barbarian.
I haven't talked to her or Bobby in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they haven't been on since.
Yeah, well,
Hightstown,
you know,
they were.
she's been recuperating,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she's been getting out a lot, you know.
Maybe we'll have to in April. We'll have to have them in here as a
Sounds-
guest to talk
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm here with Papa John Bug, a staple along the Jersey Shore music scene, a veteran of the New York City and Village Greenwich Village music scene. There's not much that you haven't done.
That's true.
And one of the things that I've always marveled at with you is your accessibility, Papa. I've never seen you be nasty or turn somebody away when they try to talk to you or about anything. You know, you're like the ultimate documenter through pictures.
And that happened by accident with Carol Barberi doing it.
Wow.
She was taking pictures at these open mics, and then I said I was mimicking her. I had a crappy cell phone, you know, and I'm blurring pictures. And then you bump into like Mr. Zund.
Yeah.
You
Dennis.
musician, take off those blurry pictures. I am the photographer. Dennis Zund. Yeah, I learned a lot.
Oh, I
from
know
him.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, yeah, because he had the Asbury Blues. Remember, he had all those photos of all the blues.
Oh, yeah,
guys?
yeah.
You know, he blew one up and put one on the wall for me, and I
Aw.
still have it at my house.
That's a shame that didn't last too long.
Yeah, you
The
know.
Asbury Blues. I was part of the old.
610 Bangs Avenue.
Yeah. You and your allergies.
Yeah, part of the old Asbury Park.
Scene. That was the big scene, and it started the whole thing.
Yeah, part of the old. Was that part of the old Asbury Park Press building or no?
Yeah, it
Yes,
was
right?
the Asbury Press building. And it became the press room after that.
So
Oh.
while I hack up along,
Are you a former cigar smoker?
Former.
Oh,
He
I
has-
forgot. He's
I haven't had a cigar in a while.
in cigar and,
Yesterday?
and his barbecue, and yeah, that all hand in hand. It's
I think
an
that's-
occupational hazard.
That's more his allergies.
As you can hear, I'm stuffed up as well. So, and I do this every time you grace my studio.
Hack up a lung?
Yes, I hack up along.
I don't remember that part, but
You need a spittoon on the side. Ching.
well, that was Kenny K last
Kenny
week.
K,
He was
yeah.
here. He had just a
Walk us through the career of Papa John Bug.
Papa John Bug. I started in junior high school. Actually, no, I actually started when I was a kid. My next door neighbor had drum set, and I wanted to play. So we would hang, I lived in Hollis, Queens, believe it or not. And, the Hollis, Queens, the big rap area. But I went to junior high school 217, Van Wyck Junior High School, and I was always musical. I was a gymnast too, and
Were you?
yeah,
wow.
yeah, I was tumbling. I got out of the Bronx. I lived in the Bronx, and one of the songs we have is "The Bronx is Burning." My grandmother moved to Queens. She got us all out of the tenements. Every 6 months, someplace would burn down. You could feel it, and we'd been moving. And you could feel the heat. And finally, she settled in Hollis, Queens, and I started school there, and I was involved with track and tumbling. The PAL got me out tumbling in the Bronx.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was part of that whole thing to stay out of the whole street scene.
Right.
And I lived in Fox Street. Fort Apache. Remember the movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I lived on Union Avenue and Fox Street. So you would see people hanging. You would see gangs around. You'd see drunks all on top of the buildings, the walk-ups, and I'd learn how to run to the store and run back, and they would chase me, and I got faster and faster. And it was 6 of us, Actually, it was 5 at the time, 5 siblings, and we were living in tenements, and my grandma finally got us out of there, and then I got involved with sports in high school, and then drumming. I was a drummer.
Did you run in Van Cortlandt Park?
Van Cortlandt Park I'm familiar with, but we were in St. Albans Park.
My dad would run in Van Cortlandt because he was from Queens, but he was Astoria.
Yeah, he was on the other side. We were with near Count Basie, where his house.
Oh,
there was
no
the baseball
kidding.
field, yeah,
Interesting.
in St. Albans and Liberty Park, and I was part of the Little League, and then I got involved in the school orchestra. And I would hit the cymbal or the
triangle.
The triangle. That was first, and then I got into the drums, and we do block parties, and I was the best drummer around. Then I met this other guy, Ronald Drayton, who was a drummer too, but his name was Head. He played with Roy Ayers. And we were young kids, and he switched over to guitar, and I switched over to bass. And he lived at South Road, down in Jamaica. That's like the tough part of town, and we saw our careers. He turned professional, and I did too. And it's funny. How did I meet Richie?
Richie Haven.
Yeah. Richie Havens. My girlfriend knew the secretary for his office at Ellistone Records. And Johannan Fagoda, Stevie Wonder's lawyer, was Richie's lawyer. And so she worked for him. So they mentioned that, I have a young kid who plays bass. Afro had that look, skinny kid. And Richie had this group called Fresh Flavor, which was part of the McCrae Gospel Singers from Bushwick. Richie originally played he sang doo-wop on the corners
Oh,
before he did folk.
very cool.
Yeah, and he would sing with my friend David McCrae. They were childhood friends. They all grew up together. A bunch of them all grew up together in that area, area, and we call it Dodge City. You know,
Getting out of Dodge.
It was tough back then. But Gates Avenue in Bushwick, and Richie, of course, got into the whole music scene in the village and all that. And, you know, that changed his direction. But when Dave came with a songwriter named Lucille Jackson, who played piano, she wrote for The Main Ingredient. She did a lot of writing. She wrote In My House, I Am a Boss Man. That's her song.
Nice.
I got permission to record it. And,
Which we will be hearing in a little bit later on.
yeah, and she did a lot of different songs. As far as you know, Zeus's Anger Roar, which is another one that Richie recorded. Again, that was another song that they did, and they got so popular. My girlfriend introduced me to them, and I got invited to Electric Lady Studios to audition,
Very
and
cool.
we clicked.
Oh, wow.
We clicked, and they called me Bug. Why did they call me Bug? Because I used to repair things. I could fix radios and stuff, and I put a tube, a 606 tube, and they thought it was a miracle. You know? You're a bug on things. That was their word of affection, Bug.
It's
And
cute.
it stuck. You know, hey Bug, hey Bug. So David still around. David McCrae sings with the Drifters now.
Oh,
Does he?
wow.
David sings with. He came to Long Branch 3 years ago, and with the whole Drifters, you know, and it was incredible. And
The Drifters. I was supposed to do a gig with that guy.
Oh, yeah.
We were supposed to open for the
Right,
current
yeah,
lineup
right,
of the
right,
Drifters.
right.
yeah, they have so many different members. I was Benny King and all these
Yeah.
guys. Like,
Over the years. Now, for anybody who sees pictures of Papa John Bug back in those days, you
had the biggest afro.
to say you had an afro is an understatement.
The afro had him.
Yeah, the afro had me. I used to charge 20. We used to go up to Monticello. My wife is Bernstein, so we used to go up to the Bosch Belt, you know, and we used to go up to Monticello, and we go in the diner, and people wanted to touch my hair and stuff. Is that real?
Is it real? Oh, my goodness. You still have a good head of hair. That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's funny because
Not you.
Oh,
It's funny because we call ourselves the Fudgies back in the day. You know, she's a Bernstein. She drove a Corvette to school. You know, she was from Woodmere, 5-towner. And
wow.
and you know, and here I am, this poor kid. We met at May's department store.
Really?
Yeah, I was the box guy. We used to bring the boxes and bags to, and she worked in cosmetics.
Wow.
For some reason,
Yeah.
you know,
It clicked.
It clicked, and you know, that started that whole romance. And she's the one responsible for me, you know, because I moved in with her, and I was playing in the closet. We had a studio apartment. I played in the closet, bass, you know. It's funny.
That's great.
And so it was her that she, you know, her friend Carol Marks was the secretary, and we had a whole community. People, we lived in Queens, and you know, it's funny that she introduced me, and then all of a sudden I got invited, and next thing you know, we're playing at the Cafe Wow. Richie managed the Cafe Wow with his wife, you know, and we did 7 days shows every night. Next thing you know, I'm going to Europe.
Crazy. I remember that story
yes,
too.
we're going to
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to Europe.
Yeah.
And they decided, well, Rick Oxendine was Richie's bass player. At the time, he said, I don't want to do too many gigs. He would be the original bass player for Fresh Flavor. They did the Midnight Special and Johnny Carson in L.A. And then when they came back, I got auditioned. You know, he was just, you know, overwhelmed, too much work. And so I became the bass player for that.
so have you been back to Electric Ladyland Studios since?
I have not, and that used to have Orange Julius next door to it. I love that drink, and I remember back in the day, it was it was unusual building. It had that round. Have you been down there? Had that round facade in the front, and Richie was recording, but he'd record 24 hours, 48 hours. He'd stay in the studio forever, And I got part of that whole scene. But his studio was on Prince Street, right near the waterfront.
In New York? Okay.
New York, yeah. He had his own studio there.
Wow.
It's a rehearsal studio. So that was our gathering point.
Yeah.
Everybody, and that's where I met Bernard Purdy and some of Murray Weinstock, some of the other guys from Manhattan Transfer, and it was just a whole community. And then you go down to Cafe Y and all these personalities. Lou Gossett Jr. would show up, all these people would just show up at the Y.
I spoke to a woman who's from Virginia, and she was up here back at the end of the summer. She was touring. She had 2 shows in this area, sort of. She had one in Philly at Jamie's House of Music, and then, which is how I made the contact. Our friend Greg Gaughan over there always sends people my way. So many thanks to Greg for that. But the other show she was doing, she goes, and when I'm talking to her, she said, I'm not so sure you've heard of this place, but it's in New York City. It's called Cafe Y.
And it's funny that Bob Dylan movie.
Cafe Y?
Yeah, but it was in the wrong location. I'm looking at it and say, that's not the Cafe Y. It's Minetta and McDougal. Wait a minute. It had it in the wide open boulevard. I said, wait a minute. This doesn't look right. Something's wrong here. The location was wrong.
Well, actually, there's a picture of Cafe Y on your before and after album.
That's right. My son had one of the Rolling Stones photographers that because he's got connected. He had him do that for me.
Now, speaking of your son, your son has made incredible strides as well in his career.
Cody Verdicius. He's got the legacy of Verdicius. That's our mantra. And he started out as a young rapper with a group called World's Fair. And they went to Norway. They've been all over. We lived in Flushing. It's a bunch of kids that had ambitions to become they call it kind of like dark rap, And they were doing all the clubs in New York, and they were making things happen. And my son kind of leaned towards the business side of it, and since my brother-in-law, Perry Farrell, is going to be signed by Columbia, my son became an intern. The young one became an intern. And little by little, Mercury Records, Sony Records, Columbia, and then, of course, with Atlantic.
Yeah, now he's a bigwig at Atlantic Records.
Yeah,
and your brother-in-law is
Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction.
Jane's Addiction.
And we're going to go into his, because I saw him Hard Rock that Saturday.
In Atlantic City or New York?
Atlantic City.
Okay.
And then I asked him how the band was, and he gave me a frown.
Oh, boy.
But I guess there was something going on. And then Tuesday he was on Pier 17, I guess, in New York. And next thing he's in Boston on Thursday. And that's when that whatever happened with the band, that whole thing on stage, I'm not going to really get into it, but, I don't know what happened, but,
I wasn't aware of anything happening, but
yeah,
okay.
There was some kind of
happens.
allocation on stage.
Oh, fun.
Well, the whole purpose of that is to show our listeners that you are a man that is very always around music.
Yeah, I'm always around music, and I have to respect people's spaces, and unfortunately that happened, and I was surprised, but you know how rock and roll is.
Oh yeah, we see it in our own little circle, Papa.
Yeah, we got it in our own little circle, right? We talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
Yesterday. And,
Yep.
It just happens, and I try to be neutral, and some people even get pissed off at me, because they just maybe they get tired.
Well, yeah. Somebody, it's kind of odd because somebody said to me just this afternoon, "You're still doing rock on radio?"
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's almost
like you're supposed to fail.
Almost 16 years, and they're like, "Wow, how time flies! That's a long time to commit to anything." And I look back at some of the old pictures, and I had brown hair and a lot more of it, and I was a lot more thin, and so much changes over the course of events, and let alone a lifetime.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just look in the mirror and I say, do I really want to keep doing this? Do I really want to? Do I want to continue to even play music, especially now that I have neuropathy that's getting worse by the day in my legs, and now it's in my hands.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for me to do something simple like grab a glass out of the kitchen cabinet, because I'm dropping a lot of things these days.
Yeah.
So playing a drum kit is becoming increasingly a challenge. But if I ever get to the point where I begin to be angry or nasty or aggravated with the people that I've worked with for so long, then I know. Be quiet, please.
I was so close.
Then I know it's time to get out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not you,
I
never.
am angelic. Thank
yeah.
you.
It
See
gets
this?
to the point
Currently-
where you develop a reputation too, and it follows you, and then people,
Right.
you become a pariah. Sometimes people go,
Yeah.
I don't
People
wanna
stay
do-"
away, and then you're
Stay
done
away.
whether you want to be or not.
Yeah, and so for me, I had played with Richie, but the recession came during the late '70s, and so when that time with Richie ended, and my wife at the time said, "It's time to change. Go back to school." So I went back to Queensboro Community, and my cousin, he says, I drive a cab. You can drive a cab, and then whenever you have a gig, you can just get out and drive a cab again. So so I drove
flexible.
a cab in Manhattan for 6 years.
Wow.
6 years, and going to school. So I get 4 hours of sleep, and this is a crazy progression. I get up at 4 in the morning, pick up my cab on Vernon Street in Queens, drive, and all kinds of characters out in the morning. Sometimes I had to wait for a long time to get the cab. I get in 4 and I don't get a cab till 10 o'clock. Then by 2 o'clock, I'm done, and I got to go to school. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I'm doing night school, and then I'm doing open mics in Manhattan
Wow.
late at night.
Wow.
So I get home, and I'm riding subways and driving my car, and before you know it, I'm 6 years, 4 hours sleep a
Wow.
night, average.
Wow. That's crazy. But you were young.
I was young. I was young.
You can
You
do
do that
that.
when you're young.
I could do that,
Yeah.
I was young.
Well, one of the things, before we get into some music, one of the things that you learned from Richie Havens is your style of guitar playing, which we're going to run some music, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to also, in my trip to Europe, I met the legendary Alexis Corner.
Oh,
the
that's right,
godfather
yes.
of British blues.
Yes.
He nurtured John Mayall, Peter Frampton, just about everybody. He was the man that everybody wanted to know. And I had no idea who he was. I met his son, Nicole. I had not a clue. I was on
Sometimes
tour
that's
with
better,
Richie.
though.
Yeah, and then later on, we became pretty good friends. My son, my oldest son, his nickname is Alexis,
Oh, fun.
Jeremiah Alexis Verdicius.
Wow.
And,
Nice.
he had a big influence on me.
Well, you talked about The Bronx is Burning. Do you have that,
Yep.
Claire? Which is on Forgiven, I believe, right? Or is it on, which one is that on? Bronx is Burning. Your tune, The Bronx is Burning. Is
The
that
Bronx
on
is, they should be on that one.
Yep, Forgiven.
Forgiven.
Papa John Bug and the Jam Band. And you already prefaced this tune for us earlier by talking about all the fires in the Bronx. So my guest this evening here on Rock On Radio is Papa John Bug, and off his album Forgiven, here is Bronx is Burning.
In the Bronx, New York, Union Avenue, St. Mary's Park. I was raised in the ghetto since I was a little fellow. Tenements on fire, for the plenty in flames. The Bronx is burning and I needed a change. The Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning. I won't be around. The Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning. And I won't be around. Grandma had a master plan to move her to another land. We moved out the ghetto, no longer a little fellow. I won't deny ya, it gave me my name. She was born in the Bronx, New York, and I ain't ashamed. The Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, and I won't be around. The Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, and I won't be around. We moved to Hollis, Queens, got into the music scene. Had two little fellows, made me kind of mellow. The music in my bones and the Bronx in my soul. Music in my bones and the Bronx in my soul. The Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, and I won't be around. The Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, the Bronx is burning, and I won't be around.
In my soul, make me whole. City full of sin, trying to keep control. Yes, I know the Bronx is burning, world is turning. Got my eyes on the prize, steady super serving that attitude. With a plate full of gratitude, piercing the heat, be gone. I ain't mad at you. This is my city, this is my town. I know the streets, I know how it's going down. Out for the crown, shine bright like the street lights. Hustle hard, gotta eat right. They go left, but I keep right. Running this thing, so I lace up my sticks tight. Hype cause a rhyme unique. From the concrete, I came with a song to speak. It is yours. From the Bronx to the shore, I give you all of me. From the heart to the core, for sure.
Burning, burning, be real, be real. The Bronx is burning, hey, burning, hey, burning. Get out of my way, that Bronx is coming. Hey, 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 get out of my way. You want me to get that Bronx on? I don't think so. Oh, the Bronx is burning, burning, burning. In my soul, in my soul. The Bronx is coming. Hey, I told you once, I told you twice. Don't get that Bronx out of me. Move out of my way. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I got attitude. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Burning. That's right. Papa John Bug and the Jam Band.
Love it.
The Bronx is burning. Now, one of the things you've told me over the 15 years I've known you now is because you're one of the first people I ever met in the Asbury Park music scene.
Oh, really?
And one of the first things you told me, or I remember you telling me the first time you came on this program, was that you learned how to play guitar not from Richie Havens, but you kind of copied his percussive style.
Yeah, because I was on that small stage, and he'd turn around and he always hit me with the tambourine when I was playing bass. After a while, and I get cuts and everything. So, yeah, I started learning. Well, I was playing guitar for a while back, but, I got inspired to write songs. And so I started playing guitar, besides the bass. And, when Eric Oxendine, his bass player, always played guitar too. So, we jamming a little bit. And so I started jamming with all these guys. And then the road manager, James Booty Neal, he says, let's start a group together. And so we call ourselves B&B, Booty and Bug. That's cute. He had connections, he had Elliot Randall. He knew him, the guitarist for Reeling in the Years. He was a studio session musician. So we put together songs. Elliot came and played some music for us.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. He did a song for us, and he just knew a lot of people. And we went to Metro Media. We had all these great studios. We go in. He's well connected, and he was our road manager for Fresh Flavor. He was a regimented sergeant. Get up, you guys. We gotta go. And it was fun. It was fun on the road.
I bet. Now, if people want to find out more about you, Papa, what do we? How do we find you? Website, Facebook,
website, you can
social
visit
media.
John Verdicius, Verdecias. I used to be called Paparazzi, and somehow Facebook got pissed off at me and had to give them my license and everything else.
Wow.
They shut me down for a while. So now it's John Verdicius, in parentheses, Paparazzi. That's my main page. I guess they gave me pro status. Papa John Bug, Poppa, John Bug. Bug is my standard page, and I have Who's Riding with Papa.
That's right.
Because you're only limited to 5,000 people. So what happened, I had to, and then Papa John Bug and the Jam Band.
Right.
Is another page. So each one.
Do you manage all of them now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I post, I copy.
Nice.
So but then again, I have almost 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and sometimes I get 48,000 hits.
Yeah.
It all depends who, if somebody sees, an artist on there, next thing you know.
Yeah.
Nice. It just, I guess that's what happens in social media. It just takes off.
Over the years, and Claire will testify to this, I've been called a lot of things.
Some of them from me.
True story. But one of the things that people call me is, or tell me, they say about me is that I'm a huge supporter of original music. But I support original artists through this program, through sharing their posts, so on and so forth, and going out to gigs whenever I can. But you go out like 7 nights a week
I used
to local venues and support the musicians. I don't know
And the
of
people that
anyone who
come.
doesn't know you.
and the people that come to see them. See, it's undifferent. I'm a little different in photography. Is I take pictures of the band, but I take pictures of people that are coming
Right,
to see
right.
the band.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody starts posing. As soon as Papa comes in,
Papa's here.
take a picture of us.
Well, that's what I said. I said, oh, no, I have to put makeup on because Papa's coming.
And it's funny because I either the sheep herders or I go see Shauna and the people, and she'll announce, Papa's in the house. right in front of everybody. It's just like, and everybody's turning, who's Papa? Just, Papa's in the house. He's going to take your picture.
Smile.
The cameraman.
And even Jamian, when I was at Jamian's, the club in Red Bank, he didn't want me taking pictures at first.
Really?
Back, you're looking 15, 16 years ago. It was just people, who are you taking a picture of? People were like, upset that you take pictures of them, you know. And it got to a point where
Yeah.
on his website, just about all my pictures. now.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Well, even for the Christmas spectacular came and took some great pictures, and I reposted and
Yeah,
and,
I mean, it's for free.
popped you.
I don't charge or
Yeah, but
anything.
it's good to mention
every-
so people can
yeah,
see.
everybody can right-click it and take whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I post a lot of memories.
You do.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
everybody thinks I'm someplace exotic.
Yeah.
You know, oh, where'd you just came back from California or Las Vegas? You know, this is
I'm in the
trips
lobby of the Asbury Hotel.
yeah, and you were hanging at the Asbury Hotel. How much are rooms?
Well, and but that support that you do give other artists is huge, and it does tend to come back to you because you have quite a crew of musicians, of which are helping you on your forthcoming album, which will be done soon.
Third
Correct?
album. Third album. I did an EP, so maybe you're counting that too. But
No,
third
forthcoming. I said not not
album.
forth.
Okay, I understand.
Upcoming. That's better.
Upcoming. Yeah, and believe it or not, Alex Diognese, my drummer, is the producer. He's the one that drives everybody. Like
Yeah.
Frank Greco plays guitar. He's driving them to play better. Even he gives them a look. He says, "Hey, come on!"
I could see
But,
that.
Yeah,
Now Kenny K was in here last week. Alex also plays drums for
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And Peter Viteska, who we all know, Alex also plays drums for him.
Yep.
But it all started at Surefire when I started, and he became kind of like the house drummer for Surefire. So he brings in all these acts.
That makes sure. Yeah. That
know.
makes, yeah.
Laura Monzo back in the day, he brought a couple of different people into Joey, you know, and
Which is where you're recording this now once
Yeah.
again. You do all your work at Surefire Studio.
all Surefire except for 1 year we did Lake House. My son bought some time there, and we did tracking there. We did 14 tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, and we laid the groundwork up, and I told him from the beginning, we're going to do tracking here because I have to go back home to Surefire, and we did.
And what makes you so comfortable with Surefire and Joe
It's the
DeLamb?
Carnegie Hall of studios. it's just, it has the vibe, it's got the equipment, and the main thing, it's got Joey D. And Joe is one of the best engineers out here.
There's a deco artist that records at Surefire as well. You remember the band Survivor, right? The guy who sang "I Have a Tiger," Dave Bickler. He records with Joe up there as well. I mean, there aren't many people who don't.
Joe knows my music, and a lot of the things that we had to correct, or because you're going from one studio to the other, he was able to overcome that and bring balance to the whole track. You know what I mean? Because you're doing tracking, you're going from one studio to the other. It's different equipment. It's little. You find little niches that shouldn't be there, but he was able. He's kind of like a doctor. He can actually cure the patient. And
I used to
surgeon.
think it was a sound engineer, or not the sound engineer, the mastering engineer that would have fits with that. Because when you got these artists, we recorded this at the record plant, we recorded this at Electric Ladyland, we recorded this at Surefire. We're 4 or 5 different studios all across the country. Oh, this was at Abbey Road.
Yeah,
You've got to have 4 or 5 different sound
yeah.
qualities or whatever it might be. So as a mixing and mastering engineer, how the heck do you get all that stuff right? It's got to drive you crazy.
Well, it's expensive because there's
Yeah.
a lot of corrections, a lot of time spent. He has no control over the tracking, but he was able to blend it. He's good at blending, and he kind of like, you remember the old days when we used to splice?
Oh yeah, with tape and a razor blade. Yeah,
Well, he's able to do that with the Pro Tools.
with the Pro Tools.
Yeah,
A lot easier though.
Yeah, a lot easier. and he's an expert at it, and he knows the right equipment to attach. I mean, he was able to run me through, like in my house, he was able to run me through the old process, tape to tape, and then bring it into the digital. And I don't know how he did it. That's technically, not my bag, but he's so good at it, and that's because the experience is a different age group. When you have a young engineer who doesn't have that experience,
Right.
he can only do what he learned in school
Right.
versus Joe, who's
Versus
Experience.
trial and error.
trial and error.
Experience.
Experience. And you're looking at 20, 30 years experience from the engineers, from the other.
Of doing that, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's do some more music. Now, do you want to play something live, or do you want Claire to run In My House, since we were just talking about it?
Yeah, do it in my house, because we had a special guest, Matt O'Ree, on guitar.
Oh, Matt's on this
yeah.
one. That's right.
Nice.
Okay.
We got Kendall Scott.
Nice.
Oh, Kendall's on this
Wow.
too?
Yeah, Kendall did
Oh,
the
no
first
kidding.
2 albums. Yeah, Kendall did the first 2 albums. Third album, we have Greg Berger. Kendall's too busy with Nectar. He's on tour with Nectar, So he got a little too busy, but that we still love him. And, hopefully we'll get him.
Kendall is a good man.
Yeah,
I'm
Kendall Scott
very
is-
fond of Kendall.
You'll hear some of the stuff that Kendall does on here as well.
Excellent. Are you ready with that, producer Claire?
Of course.
That was actually written by Lucille Jackson, and we used to play that with Richie Havens and in my house.
There you go.
In my house, I am the boss man. In my house, I'm the superstar. In my house, I am the boss man. In my house, I'm the superstar. In my house, in my house, in my house. Recession, depression, inflation. You get no compensation now. Trying to work a poor man's job, 9 to 5. But I've got to survive. Drive people in the streets. In my house, I'm the boss man. In my house, I'm the superstar. In my house, I am the boss man. In my house, I'm the superstar. In my house, in my house, in my house. You can create your own kind of mood in your house. You just follow your rules. You can curse and scream. Who cares who's here in your house? You do what you please in your house. In your house. In your house. In my house, I'm the boss man. In my house, I'm the superstar. In my house, I'm the boss man. In my house, in my house, in my house. Recession, depression, inflation. You get no compensation now. Trying to work a poor man's job, 9 to 5. But I've got to survive. Drive people in the streets. Hey.
John Bug and a jam band in my house.
Nice.
In my house, Herbie Freeman was in the background, a
Ah.
vocal coach back in the day.
Oh, cool.
He used to be I took his place on a couple of
Yeah, those sheep herders, right?
sheep herder gigs when he got sick.
And they always have his conga drum there.
Yeah. That's fun. I had fun with that band.
Yeah.
I did 3 gigs with them. 2 of them at the one called it might have been the Draft House in Long Branch on right the half block down from the Brighton Bar, right there on whatever the heck the main drag is. I'm drawing a blank.
Is it called Jack's now? Jack in the Tracks?
Is that what Jack's on the Tracks
Jack's on the
is?
Tracks.
now?
No, Jack's in the Tracks is in Belmore.
Oh, okay.
But Jack's, it's the sports bar. And they bought Rich's, you know, the place right across from Chase Bank.
Right.
Brighton Bar. Yeah, they bought Rich's too, and they have a little thing in the background too. Well, by the way, I didn't go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
There was a lady out there, and so I ran.
I was gonna say you were really fast.
Yeah, I lost my my urge. There was a lady out
Sure
there,
wasn't a ghost?
and I didn't want her to scream or something. Who are you?
They know we're here. They know his daughter lives there, and his wife and his mother-in-law.
Yeah, so I kind of like that's.
Oh. That's right. That's what trees are for. Sometimes the guys are like, meh.
Well, I
Yeah,
hit the trees before I.
Oh, good.
There you go. Well, we have more music. We have plenty of opportunities for you to escape,
right.
Papa John.
That's right.
So the new record, is there a title for it? And a release date in mind, or what are we doing?
That's kind of hard because it's 14 tracks, and we probably going to do. We want to get on an LP, so we'll probably only have 8 songs on there. There's limited you can do on an LP, but we are coming out with a single,
Okay.
and from that, and this will be the first song. It's called "Sorries," and it features Sharon Lasher. And she's
Lasher.
one of the great, and the Flashers,
buddy.
yeah, and she's so talented. I had a young girl that I was grooming, Julia, and she was singing that part. She did the demo with us, and then all of a sudden she stopped doing music at the time.
Yikes.
So I was pressed to find somebody. So I've heard Sharon so many times.
Yeah.
Sharon, please, can you try to sing this song? And she studied it, and she was the next school teacher. She came in the studio,
Nice.
bang, 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 bang. She knocked the thing right out the park. She took it to another level, and I fell in love with her. So, you know, but she's just a great singer.
You were telling me you also have Leon Holmes on the record, right?
Well, I have her on Tell Me What You Want From Me. I have her on that one. I haven't approached her yet. We're still working out background singers and stuff like
okay.
that. Yeah, but she worked with Aaron Schul at the time. Or
Yeah.
O'Ree.
Aaron
And,
O'Ree.
yeah,
now.
we had Mary McCrink, Tara Elliott,
Nice.
and Herbie. They're all saying, "Tell Me What You Want From Me" from my first album. It was the first song on there.
That's a bunch of heavy hitters.
Oh yeah,
Right there.
And they did a great job.
I mean, yeah, you're talking serious vocals. I mean, wow.
I was fortunate to have her and then Matt O'Ree on, and you know we had a lot of people just volunteer to be on my first album.
As I alluded to earlier,
Yeah.
you know, people.
And then I got lucky because I had Michael Geegan, you know, the sax player. And, you know, he does all my horn work, you know. But this time I was able to get Chuck Lambert's horn player, you know, and
His sax player, Chuck Lambert, sax player. What's
yeah,
his-
Eric Sulkin.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Eric Sulkin did a beautiful job on a song that Jimmy Ferrante is singing. It's called "I Don't Want to Know." A Steve Goodman song that Richie covered, and they did "I Don't Want to Know," and it's just a beautiful track, and he did a great job doing that.
Did you rearrange it a little bit, or did you keep
Oh,
it
yeah. Well, we
a lot like Richie?
Well, we arranged it. Jimmy's singing it, so he introduced the song to me, and so we started doing it. I said, well, why don't you do it? You seem to be liking the song, so you know. I let him sing the song, and he's doing a really good job. But I'm taking care of the music part of it, you know, and he'll do the vocals and all that. You know, that's his part, and getting his own background vocals because he's very particular about, who plays with him and all that. So I got the musicians. Greg Berger on keyboard did a beautiful job on that, and Eric Salkin on sax, and then the jam band, of course. You know, we have Frank Greco on guitar, Alex Diagnese, and then Nash Aguilar. He's playing bass from Dead Bank, which is, it's a kind of twist for Red Bank back in the day.
Dead Bank, that's so funny.
They're a good band, though. They're a good cover band. They get a lot of people,
Wow.
and they play all over the place. So, but he wanted to play bass, and I said, "Yeah, come." It's a little different style than his, Grateful Dead style, but he's learning to play in the pocket. And sometimes you got to do. I'm from the old school of when we got signed by Buddha Records. Tony Camillo was the producer. He's Gladys Knight, Midnight Train to Georgia. So I couldn't play on the record. He had Bob Babbitt play on the bass. On the record, he had his own team,
Oh, Tony Camillo did.
Yeah. So I learned. I went back to school. I learned how to read music. I was on radio registry. I became a session musician as well, and so that no turned into a go for me, and I just inspired me to get better.
Did you play on how many other people's stuff do you think you played on over the course of your career?
It's hard to tell, I used to play with The Village, and I played with George Caldwell, which is Alexis Corner, his producer. We did a bunch of stuff down at Green Street Studios. I guess that was John Lennon's studio at one time, down in Soho. And so it's just a lot of people.
When you used to play in The Village, I mean, you played Cafe Wah, but was there another club you played that you favored?
I used to play at the Dugout. I used to do my solo stuff. When I was learning guitar and songwriter, I went around playing, and they gave me a chance, and I played. The Dugout was right near the Bitter End, right next door. And then I love the Bitter End. I go all over the place because you hang out with the local musicians. This girl named Eve Moon used to play on the street corners. She was on front cover of the Village Voice, as up and coming musician. Back in the day, we used to get paper. It wasn't on internet.
I used to wait. I couldn't wait for the Village Voice to come out. That and the Aquarium, because I would just rummage through the musicians, looking for drummers, looking for.
And believe it or not, I was on the first Manhattan Cable show. It's called Ben the DJ. It was me and my buddy Booty, B&B. We would go on those shows. We were horrible. We sounded horrible. We had, my friends would VHS tape, because you had limited subscriptions, and they had one or two cameras. That's all they had.
Right.
And that became Manhattan Cable. Believe it or not, after a couple of years.
So tell us what it was like. Before we get to some more music, tell us what it was. What was you always hear stories and you see pictures, and it's anytime you mention Bob Dylan, you can't help but think of Greenwich Village, and so on and so forth. What was it like? Is it like how it's depicted? I mean, my first trip to Greenwich Village was probably somewhere. I don't remember ever going there as a young musician or a young kid or in my youth for any reason, any shows. But the first show I ever saw in the Village was at the Bitter End. And at that time, Kenny's Castaways was right next door, and I just remember getting down there and thinking, "Wow, this is really cool." And then ever since, I've been in and out of there on a call. I went to the old CBGB's for an event. I went to I shot a music video that Tony Danza and a couple other people were in, down in the East Village, which is so different from
Yeah.
you know,
It's a big difference.
yeah. And but what was it like when you were
When
in
I
your
was
heyday?
down there, I used to go with my brother, my younger brother, Robert, and we had a stereo, we had a bottle of Matus, and maybe a joint.
Bottle of Matus.
Matus. I like
Rosé.
a Matus because
Yeah,
it was
right.
unusual
Yeah, I
bottle.
remember.
And we used to hang out on the wrought iron in Washington Square Park, and we had a portable turntable, and we had the Doors with us. And we watch everybody hang. We smoke, we drink, and we watch people play chess. We watch people play guitar. We watch people run around with their dogs. You know, we were just hanging out in the village. That's my first impression of the village. And then the people playing guitars and all that. A big difference if you go to Thompson Square Park versus the Washington Square
Right.
Park.
Yeah.
People are shooting up and doing kinds of, and you were kind of like freaked out because it was, you know, a little raunchy on that the East Village versus the West, and you know we always walk across that. What was that big square in the middle? It was I forgot the name of it. The big statue. It was a big square.
Not
forget-
Columbus.
It was further down in the village.
Yeah.
Right across Broadway, and
Yep.
Lafayette.
Yep.
And that was something else. You know, and then we go to Grizzly Furs, you know, and Canal Street, and we got all the exotic shops they would have. You know, it was crazy. And my biggest club there was, we used to go down, and I'm getting a brain for it now, but there was a dance club down there I used to go to all the time. And you had the Dome downstairs, which was Soul Brothers, were down there, and then you had the big club upstairs, and you find all the crazy artists up there, but I can't remember the name of it. The circus, the Electric Circus, was on 8th Street. I remember that. I'm just trying to remember all my little village streets that we used to go to.
Right.
And why can't I remember that club? But, I
Well, the
used to
bitter
go-
end is on Houston, right? So
The bitter end was on Bleecker.
or Bleecker.
Bleecker,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Bleecker.
And
Yeah.
You had. I used to go down to Bottom Line
Oh yeah.
around the corner,
Right.
and there's another club all around there. There's so many. You know, there's so many clubs all around the place.
Well, and
Cat Club. I remember the Lone Star.
the Lone Star or Cat Club? Which one
The
of them
Cat
was the
Club
Jazz Club?
The Jazz Club was. I forgot. It's right. It was apartment buildings now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like kind of downstairs. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, what the heck was the name? Oh, I thought that was the Lone Star. No, but no.
No, the Lone Star was
Cat
that.
Club.
The Cat Club was a separate little club on.
What are the memories? I can look it up. Cat Club.
Cat Club was one.
and the Lone Star.
The Lone Star Cafe.
So-
that was right on I think 13th Street and 5th Avenue, and it had the big iguana on top.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That was another crazy place. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
and Max's Kansas City.
They had a club in New York.
Yeah, Max's Kansas City was on Park Avenue, right on. Yeah, Max's Kansas City was a big club.
How about that?
Yeah,
Well, Max's Kansas City was all part of that whole. I read an article one time about all these underground type clubs: Max's, CBGB's, City Gardens in Trenton.
Palladium.
a Palladium, of course, on 14th
That's another
Street.
one, yeah. But there was, but these were like the clubs that were.
And where was the one that Madonna used to go to? It was real popular.
I'm looking at a list of different ones.
So, what was the vibe like?
Oh, it was always electric. We were always getting high, you know. We were always smoking and doing all kinds of things. But yeah, it was always party time. you know.
If you're just tuning in, we're here with Papa John Bug.
Oh yeah, I was big, and it got me to a point where, you know, it wasn't fun anymore. You know, I went through that period. You know,
Kind of like what I was saying to you before. If you ever get to that point where you look in the mirror and you're so angry that you're
yeah,
miserable, it's time for a change or to get out. And you hit that too with
Yeah.
I think with partying and drinking and you know
it got
drugs.
to a point
and-
where you know you lose family, you lose jobs, you lose yourself. I was a lost soul for
that
a while.
happened. Well, would you like to do something live for us, Papa?
Sure. I wonder if this is in the way. Oh, I can pull this down. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can.
should have plenty of room there.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get this on.
Is that new? That guitar?
Yeah, I got this one
Yeah, I was
because
gonna say it's not like your old one.
my Fender had a little glitch in it, and I thought I was going to lose it. You can't really find those guitars anymore. So this gill just fit into my hands. And
Fell right into him, I bet.
this is actually on my Forgiven album. It's called. I'm getting the theme now. Save me from the images on my TV. Save me from the dangers that lay ahead. It's called America. America, where is America? Where is America? I'm watching you on TV. From the rooftops and ravines, Superdome and COVID-19. Oh, America, where is America? Where is America? I'm watching you on TV. From the rooftops in LA, from San Francisco to San Francisco Bay, we pray, save them America. No matter how bad they talk about you, save them America. Your prayers will pull them through. Save them, America, 'cause I'll be watching you, watching you on my TV. Save me from the images on my TV. Save them from the dangers that lay ahead. Ooh, America, where is America? Where is America? I'm watching you on TV. Where is America? watching you on TV. This is an abbreviated version.
It was like that.
Papa John
Nice.
Bug
Woo!
here on Rock On Radio.
I love that one. That's always so soothing.
Now you do write, I know, a lot from your own experiences and things that have either affected you or surrounded you. And there's a good dose of that on your first two records. What are we looking at on this upcoming one?
This other one, I have a lot of songs that just had lyrics, and they needed a home. And I have one song, I don't even have it here, it's called Songs for My Loved Ones. And it's kind of like my forgiveness song to my sons. It's kind of like the song they would play when I pass away. You know, it's that I've made mistakes before. I opened the door for some more. Songs for my loved ones, songs for my love, songs for my loved ones, songs for my love. Yeah. It came out of the heart. I wrote it, and that's one of the reasons why my son funded this.
The studio time?
Yeah, he says, write a song about us.
Yeah.
You know, and so I wrote that one, and it's a little more lyrical, but the guys got together with it, and it turned out to be really nice.
Nice.
And that's going to be the last song on the album, and. We got, let's see.
It's a shame that a song like that is going to be wasted because you'll never die, man.
Yeah, that's
Can't die.
But
I would miss you tremendously if you passed away, my friend.
But it does happen, and it's a reality. But I wanted to leave that as a legacy. My sons and I always talk about legacy. He's building his legacy in the music business. The other one's doing film. Jeremiah, we haven't even talked about him and his videos he's done for me.
Nice.
All this, and now he's into artificial intelligence. So he's done a song called Purgatory Highway, which is outrageous. And I do have a lot of my videos on YouTube. It's on Papa John Bug, and you look it up on YouTube.
Nice.
And you'll find all the videos that he's done. Laura Lynn, which is a song that I wrote about people, what happens to people when they're depressed, what happens to the people they leave behind, And I think I did that at one of his shows at one time.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a beautiful one.
You say legacy, and one of the things, now that I myself can't deny that I'm old.
That nobody can deny.
Once you hit 60, and then you progress from there, which I have. I know all you listening are thinking, but why? Danny, you look so youthful. How can you be 61?
You're 61.
Yeah, and nobody says that either. Let me just
you're
tell you
only,
that right
you're
now.
only 61?
I'm going to start telling people I'm 80 because they'll be like, wow, you look good for 80. Yeah.
That's what I do now. And I'm in my 70s.
When you get to that point, like we are, where you're over the age of 60.
We. Oh, you.
Oh, us. Yeah, we'll leave
It's
you out
not
of
we,
it.
we.
We'll leave her out of this.
Not you. I was looking at Papa John.
Okay, well, you said we. I was looking down.
So, where you realize that you have way more years behind you than you have in front of you.
Yeah.
One of the things that I often struggle with when it comes to this program, one of the things I've accepted, let's put it that way, is that you will never make everybody happy.
No.
I've always strived for the majority. John Pfeiffer, remember John from the Aquarian?
A while back, yeah.
God, he used to write for the Aquarian. He said to me, he did an article on me about 10 years ago now. No, wait a minute. Yeah, about 10 years ago. It was right after the fifth or sixth anniversary. And I remember reading it, and I remember my eyes started to sweat. I had
Like at the Christmas show?
like at the Christmas show, but not that bad.
Waterworks. Waterworks.
Because here's a gentleman that I only know a little bit who took the time to listen to this program. And in the article, he said, and I quote, Coleman has no agenda other than to support local, original artists. And in a world of people where the majority of them have agendas, I took that as a huge compliment, which is what it was meant to be if you read the rest of the article. And I often wonder, as I struggle, as I said, as this show begins to wind down towards the end, whenever that may be, I often wonder what people are going to look back and think about what I've built here over 16 years. And you always hope it'll leave people with a good taste in their mouth and not a bad one. Now, there are a few of those that I'm sure there's a bad taste in their mouth, and I can count them on one hand, and that the least that have told me, and maybe have a finger or two left over. But when as you have gone through a career that has been stellar and has taken you to Europe and to
A lot of college campuses.
and a lot of and to people of in the upper echelon of the music industry. When that time comes where Papa John has to hang up his guitar or knows that his days are numbered, what do you want your legacy to be?
People pose for me. I still be taking out my camera. Yeah.
Taking selfies.
Yeah, selfies, yeah. Yeah, because I remember memories. I remember the memories. I've had people come over and say, you took our first picture when we first got together, these couples. I've had so many of them say, we met, you took our first picture, and then they took another one. 10 years later, 5 years later, 15 years later, we met because you took our picture,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, and that
happens,
means that means a lot because, and Claire will once again attest to this.
Are you
I'm
sure?
sure. Where there have been a lot of times where I have struggled over the years, wondering whether or not this program, or myself as a radio personality,
Antique.
were respected,
Respected.
Oh, yeah.
But when you look back, if you can touch people in a way, it's not going to get you arrested. If you can touch people in a way where they remember, like you just said, you took my first, you gave me my first shot on the radio. You supported me when others
I didn't
didn't.
know you can play music.
Yeah.
So we got to a point where I'm doing photography.
Right.
And they realized, and then when I play music, holy shit.
And that's the case, and that's all you want to leave this world with is Because did you ever see that thing on social media? In 100 years, nobody will know you existed.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
everybody you knew will be dead,
That,
or that knew you will be dead. So, do what you can now is what matters, and I think that's all we can hope for as a legacy. Some people want to leave a legacy of, how great they were or grandeur or whatever. I just want to leave a legacy that I touched people in a certain way, and I think you're going to, without a doubt, Papa, you will definitely do that, or at least the man I've known for over 15 years. So, you want to do some more music?
yeah. We'll do a song called Let me tell you a story about a young party girl. Like everything a man could want, including diamonds and pearls. She came to New York from L.A., got caught up in Shadowland. Now she's got to pay Melinda, girl on the run. She could walk the walk, talk the talk, talk the talk, and walk the walk. Melinda, we do miss your smiles. Melinda, girl on the run, on the run. Let me tell you a story about Melinda. Let me tell you a story about Melinda. Let me tell you the story about a young party girl. Had everything a man could want, including diamonds and pearls. She came to New York from L.A., got caught up in Shadowland. Now she's got to pay Melinda, girl on the run, on the run. Walk the walk, talk the talk, talk the talk, and walk the walk. Melinda, we do miss your smile. Your sexy walk and your evil LA style. My voice is not where it should be tonight, but Melinda. True story. Young girl comes to New York. She gets lost. Melinda, Melinda, Melinda.
Papa John Bug.
Sorry, my Band-Aid got caught on my guitar.
Well, which is good. For those of you listening, Papa John does not play with a pick.
No.
Yeah, so-
No. His poor fingers.
And my fingers are all raw.
Doesn't that hurt? I've tried doing that
Yeah,
before.
it does hurt, but I play bass, and that was it. I was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lose the pick every time I ping, ping.
I can understand not playing bass with a pick. The strings are bigger. The neck is longer. It's a different animal.
You know, I'm actually sitting down really low, so my voice is like, I can't really extend it. Normally I stand up.
You can stand up if you want.
Oh. It's too late now. You got all the lows out of me, but couldn't do any highs. Plus, I'm a little
okay.
congested.
You and I both.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
What?
Well, you and I have the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I'm telling you, Papa.
It's like it's.
That time of year. It's just there's a lot going around.
Yeah, it's one of the things, before I go any further, one of the things that I would like to bring to the attention of a lot of people, or of the people, who a lot of them may remember. I got a very sad message last night while I was going over to a buddy's house. And I opened up the phone and I looked at it and I didn't know what to say. Many of you may or may not remember the comedian Anita Wise. Anita was on The Tonight Show. Anita was on a couple episodes of Seinfeld as a waitress at that diner they go to
Really?
all the time. She was... she had her own comedy specials on HBO and things like that. Her name was Anita Wise. She lived in Pennington, right by Charles Larita's studio. Charles, of course, does the theme shows or theme songs for all of my radio programs. And Anita even came to a couple of our happy hours.
Yeah, she did.
She was just a pleasure to be around. She really was. And I got a message from her cousin, who was a fellow musician and the gentleman I've shared a stage with on multiple occasions. And he's like, Danny, I'm sad to tell you that my cousin Anita passed away.
Wow.
Totally blew my mind. She was in her 60s.
Yeah.
There was a comedian, matter of fact, Steve Trevelise from New Jersey 101.5 put a post up
Oh.
about her because he works closely with Catch a Rising Star,
Right,
and
right.
So, and he does a lot of comedy himself. And Steve mentioned how she, a few years back, she was there was a show on NBC, that Last Comic Standing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was an older woman named Julia Scotti who went really far. She may have even won, or at least was one of the final couple. And Anita used to do a lot of shows with her.
Oh.
But Anita passed away, sadly. She passed away of cancer,
Yeah.
actually.
Like quickly,
And,
she didn't
and
know.
quickly, yeah. She had cancer years back, and she beat it. And apparently, according to what my friend Bud told me, he said that the cancer came back, and in less than a week, she passed away.
She
So you
put-
just never know,
Yeah.
So
Her last post was January 11th.
last week. So to say that life is short, and yeah, I could sit here and babble about cliches all evening, but I don't want to take up that much of your time, Papa John. But I would be remiss if I did not give that little tribute to Anita, because I was very fond of her. Very fond of her.
Her last post is what she said is that feeling when you pull off a little something you know isn't climactic, yet it still manages to become anticlimactic. I wonder if she knew she had cancer at the time.
Just less than it was like a week ago.
Yeah, it was like just 3 days before she passed away.
It's funny because on the new album, I have a song called Lonely. I'd rather be. If it means the wrong love for me. I have a song called Song for Miss Kitty, which is my old romance I had for 10 years. And it's,
I remember Miss Kitty.
yeah, it's called It's Over. It's over. It's over.
She came with you on this
I love
program
her shows,
on
yeah.
a couple of occasions.
And, apparently that she's
I was saddened to hear that when that
Yeah.
happened as well, because I liked her.
yeah, I liked it too. But certain things it just didn't work out.
Well, things happen, and yeah, I have an ex-girlfriend. Imagine that. I have an ex-girlfriend.
Which one?
Which one?
Take a number. I have an ex-girlfriend who used to have a little tiny sign, like the size of smaller than an index card, magnet on a refrigerator. Said it's not what happens to us, but our reaction to it. So you can choose to wallow in misery, or you can move on,
Move on.
and you have to move on.
Or you
I'm
write
mo-
a song about
I'm
it.
on. I'm on.
We write a song about it.
Yeah, I'm on for 3 years, and and my last post was Christmas because that's when the incident happened, and I had this song. I've been working on it, and I said, let me change the title because it's over. It's time to let it go,
Right.
And like you said, it's time to let it go, and that's the last time I'll ever post anything like that, and it was difficult, and and it's a collection of songs I put together. Yeah, I have a couple of covers in there. I'm doing High Flying Bird, Richie Havens.
Okay.
I did that one. I thought it was a pretty good song. All Along the Watchtower. We were the guys. We did that. We did our own version. See, I'm doing a lot of the covers that Richie did in his style. But I can't sing like him. I can't play like him. But the vibe is there. And Frank Greco does a great job on guitar. And Greg Berger, he's really good on synthesizer. And he did a lot of keyboard work. And of course, Alex and Nash on bass. So and then I got a couple of guest artists coming in. I got to find room for Chuck Lambert. He's telling me he wants to be on it, so I'll find something for him. And of course, the best track I think so far is "Sorries" with Sharon Lasher, and then of course Michael Geegan does a lot of the horn section work on most of the stuff anyway. The last 2 albums he's done phenomenal work. And
Well, he's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
I mean, Gagan tours with. I've known him to play with everybody from Bocelli to Roger Hodgkins to the Cirque du Soleil.
Elton John. In the
Elton
beginning.
John. That's right.
Yeah.
He's just he's in
people asked
Redback.
me to use somebody else, and I said, I go to Michael first, But I did, Eric Sulkin. I felt he had that jazzy taste for this song, and it sounds pretty good for I Don't Want to Know, and he fits in perfectly for that one. And I also, Miss Jealousy, I have Diane Doolittle on flute, and she really excels. So Miss Jealousy, I wrote, and I did it recorded before, and I re-recorded it, and she did a phenomenal job. We did the Cafe Artiste back
Right.
a couple of months ago, and she came on. And she's flawless with the flute, saxophone, but flawless with the flute. So she'll be playing with me. I'm doing Light of Day on Friday, which we're broadcasting this on Sunday.
Yeah.
But she'll
You'll
be
have
with
done
me
it.
along with Richie Blackwell on percussion, who's played on all my albums. I was just with Richie. We did the Big Man Bash.
Oh, did you? You did the Big Man Bash?
I went over there to take pictures with him. He played.
Okay.
I wasn't invited, but that's okay. I brought my other hat.
I got all excited for you there.
Yeah, I thought I played, but I didn't know anything. I guess, I'm not out there.
Well, you know Nick, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't out there gigging as much as I used to. I'm concentrating on.
I feel your pain there.
Yeah, I'm concentrating on my recordings, and it's difficult. Once the Saint closed down and you had all these original places you can play at, again, it's difficult for original music to be heard. Especially in this town.
And COVID didn't do us any favors.
No.
We lost a lot of venues.
Yeah. And now with the new project I'm putting together, I have this thing called Channeling Richie and Gil, and Papa John Bug, The Experience. You have all these tribute bands, and they're getting all over the place, and they're getting to bigger venues. And I said, well, why don't I put together something that Richie did and cover some of the songs he covered, and then Gil Scott-Heron. I'm doing Johannesburg in the bottle, and I'm learning a couple of more that are going in there. I heard from other people that Gil Scott-Heron was very big in the colleges.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Back in the day, he was big in the colleges. It's just basically what he talked about, the revolution will not be televised. and people got attracted to that whole, he was the first rap artist, spoken word. And with all that he said, I got to listen to him. And I said, I like this. And I could identify with the bottle, since I'm not afraid to say I'm in recovery. I got to a point where we talked about this before. It got to a point where, drugs and alcohol became my escape route. I couldn't handle life. And, I checked out, I lost, the ability to want anything in life, just anesthetize myself. And it's funny, there was hope, and that's how I got to Jersey. The boys, my friends were actually moved. My dealer moved to New Jersey.
Oh no!
Believe it or not, he says, "Hey, come visit me." So I used to come visit him, and he told me that he was in recovery, and he didn't stop the.
On the side.
He would stop the alcohol, but he forgot, part of the recovery is you can't do anything.
Right.
And so we partied for a while, and then after a while, they got the message, and they made plans to get me here, and you want to join the band, you got to be sober. And that's how I got here. And,
Wow.
and that was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Believe it or not,
Wow.
20 years ago, I was in a rooming house in the Highlands.
Like I said, so much over the course of a few years or a
And all
lifetime,
those
things
songs
change.
that I did in the first two albums were all taken out of a sheet of music, and I had a guitar and a bass and a little piano,
Just playing.
and I nurtured them into the two albums.
Into those songs.
Yeah.
Well, we have time, I think, for one more tune, right, Claire? How
Yes,
much
we
time
do.
do we have left?
8 minutes.
Oh, okay. We have time for another song. Which would you like to?
I have the Queen of Paranoia.
Yeah, play that, because that was a gift. I had Matt O'Ree and Herbie Friedman, who was our vocal coach at the time. They decided they were going to play this, and this is a very popular song, and that was kind of like our single for that era, for that album.
This is the one
And true story, too.
I remember the most from that jam session at the Wonder Bar with Joe D'Angelo and you, and at that.
The Queen of Paranoia. True story, too.
If you're just tuning in-
true person.
Wow.
If you're just tuning in, why? Where have you been?
You missed it.
You missed
missed
it. This is Rock on Radio. My guest is Papa John Bug. And here is, and that's on Forgiven, I believe, correct? The Queen of Paranoia?
No, it's first before and after.
Oh, it's on Before and
Yeah,
After.
before and after.
Oh, okay.
The Queen of Paranoia.
That's right. The Queen of Paranoia.
She's the queen of paranoia, leader of the pack. Has more money on her finger than you'll ever
Papa John Bug, Queen of Paranoia. Social media, websites again. What do we? How do we find you, sir?
You Instagram and all the Facebook, social media. I'm on Threads too. It's Papa Poppa John Bug Bug, or John Verdecius Verdecias, and I'm on everything. You name it, and I welcome new fans. Some of the other sites I have over 5,000 already on Papa John Bug. So, yeah, and they kind of like shut you down. But I got professional status and Who's Riding with Papa and John Verdecius. So that's unlimited.
Well, given that this show is airing on January 19th,
Oh, okay.
what do you have for gigs going?
Well, gigs, nothing yet because I'm in the studio working on my delivery of Sorries for Valentine's Day. So we're doing a mix, and we're doing a mix Saturday, and I'm going to get that mastered, and we're going to introduce that only online. You know, I'm not getting physical CDs anymore.
Yeah, right.
Stuff like that. It's too expensive. And Sharon Lasher, what a gift! What a gift! I mean,
That's great.
you know, she's a true artist, and
Well,
Michael Geegan on there. You know, it's just unbelievable.
if Lasher's listening to this,
That's right.
she's on my list because
She
she won the
yeah.
co-host thing
should
and
be
she hasn't
here.
come in yet.
That's right. She could
And
have come
I
in.
invited her. She had rehearsal tonight, so
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons she couldn't come.
She's busy.
Yeah.
She's popular.
Oh, she's very popular. Yeah, I saw her. She's a graduate of Monmouth University. So I saw her doing the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, fun.
Dropped the mic. She killed it.
You know, I think. See, I thought that was just me. That she told she had rehearsal. I asked her to go out with me 7 nights a week. I got rehearsal. I got rehearsal.
I thought she was washing
Wait
her
a minute.
hair.
I tried to get her to sing another song, which I just sent her, a Spring in Your Eyes. It's a makeup song. And she was too busy with Holiday Express. But now I sent it to her, so maybe I'll get lucky and get her on another single.
Darn that Tim McClune.
Yeah.
That should be done now, right? Holiday
Yeah.
Express, I
Yeah,
believe,
but
right?
the-
Bobby Boyd's on the road.
Yep.
He's
with
on
the
tour with
Criers.
the Criers.
Yep. He's
so,
all over
yeah.
the East Coast. Yep.
You know, so hopefully I'll get another swing at her coming into the studio and
Good.
just laying it down. She's so professional.
Nah, she's
great.
We love Sharon.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
We want her to come here though. So.
I'll mention.
And
Yeah.
and
she knows.
the
She
show.
And
knows.
honestly, I don't ask her to date me anymore. Ever since the restraining order, it's been
Are you
You
one
like
of those?
redheads.
Well, that's right. She's a redhead.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Me don't speak English.
We love Sharon. I love her to death. She knows I love her to death.
Oh, she brought me to another level.
That voice is well, that wraps it up.
That is. This is it.
Papa, thank you for making the trip
thank
to
you
the
for having-
the hinterlands.
The hinterland.
Glad you
I
made
thought
it.
I was lost.
You made it.
I thought it was going to say, sorry, guys, I'm going back.
Alex, we ain't in Jersey anymore.
Yeah, it was definitely not.
I could hear him if he was with you.
Yeah, Alex.
But thank you, man, for making the trip.
Thank you for having me.
And the new album. Do we have a title for the new album?
Yes, Songs for My Loved Ones.
Songs from my
It's a
love.
collection
Okay,
of-
so that's the title
Yeah,
cut we were
it's,
talking about.
it's just about feelings.
All right.
Songs for My Loved
Well,
Ones.
when that comes out, you'll have to let me know, and we'll make sure we get it on the air.
And we're going
That's
to
right.
do an LP on that, the vinyl. So we have 14 tracks, so I have more music after
Nice.
that.
Nice.
you
You know,
That's awesome.
most of the guys are jamming.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Next week, we're
Cheadle?
not sure. Yeah, we're supposed to have Laura Cheadle, but you're going to be away on that, or you're going to be gone that afternoon, right? Because I have to make other arrangements to record.
That's right. You're on your own, kid.
So, okay. Thanks for that. You're leaving me unsupervised again.
Hey, that happens. You do pretty good with that, though.
Yeah.
That's right.
Are you